Hello and welcome to Walking the Earth podcast. I'm Mike Margulies and I am in Koh Phangan, Thailand right now. And I am with, please help me one more time.
Sure, Natasha.
Natasha is from Cali.
That's right.
And we met, 30 minutes ago.
Mm-hmm.
Both have arrived on Koh Phangan. It's the day before the full moon.
Yes.
So we're trying to figure out where is a good place to post up. And both been exploring the island. It's kind of, I guess you were saying you saw a spring break vibe kind of coming in when you were in Koh Tao.
Absolutely.
And yeah, so that means tomorrow, that was kind of like a preview for what to expect tomorrow.
Exactly. A lot of the people that were on Koh Tao were kind of getting ready for the full moon extravaganza, which I think has kind of turned into just an ultimate spring break edition on the islands here, as opposed to what it originally was.
Yeah. I just had a weird deja vu for some reason.
Yeah.
But, no, it's weird. It seems like... So I'm here, there's this full moon party, it's the thing tomorrow, and I'm like, all right, well, should I go to this? I remember in Pai, actually I told you this already, but
yeah.
I had, the full moon party in Pai was kind of just like a drum circle and a fire, and I got to play guitar, and it was chilled out and cool. I bet you there's a full moon party
Like that.
somewhere in Koh Phangan tomorrow night.
Yes.
There's got to be, right?
Mm-hmm.
That is the thing. That should be.
That's what you want to go to.
I think, yeah. I think that's the answer, right?
Yeah.
Let's work this out live.
I mean, I think even like that Swedish girl that we just met.
Yeah.
It sounds like she lives here and she knows.
Yeah. That's true.
I think she would probably know what her friends were up to, and that would be an interesting thing to do.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, initially, what the full moon party was, back in the day, was more of a local celebration of the fact, celebrating the moon cycle and kind of that natural energy that everyone has during a full moon, and how you naturally kind of can't sleep, from that energy. A lot of people witness that.
Yeah, actually, no, I haven't really been sleeping. Is that why?
Yeah, I mean, it can be I don't know what's going on in your life, but
well, it's also partially because I was on a night bus.
Yeah.
So that didn't help either.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But just traditionally, whenever
this is more light.
Yeah.
And we're light sensitive. So.
Yeah, there's the light, and then also look at how the moon's affecting everything, how it's affecting the ocean, affecting the tide, the relation between where we are and the moon. It manifests in the environment, and so we're part of the environment, so it has to manifest in us. And I think when you're, when I was living in New York or something, you're really out of touch with nature, and you're really out of touch with all the natural cycles, so you don't really know why you're feeling what or whatever, because there's so many different energies at play. But here, we're on this island, and there's a moon, and I think we're much more susceptible to the energy.
Yeah, okay. So maybe in a city, you have, say, more pollution. We talk about all these things, but it has an effect also on what are the external... It's maybe a shield in some ways or something, right? That's kind of weird to think about, but the pollution in a city could be a shield from the power of, say, the effects of the moon. Or
I see it just as kind of a more of a disconnection from the natural environment.
Same. Yeah, exactly. Kind of just it functions as, I guess, I feel like all these things are true at the same time. It's like a shield, but it's also just a disconnection.
Yeah.
These are all kind of coexisting.
Yeah. So we don't really realize the effect of things on us.
Right.
And so from what I've heard, when I've talked to people, they said that initially the party was just kind of local people on the island just celebrating like magnificence of the full moon, and probably in a similar way to what you're talking about, people playing instruments, drum circles. I don't know what the native rituals would have been, but my feeling was that it was a much more like natural, even like tribal coming together of people, just to honor the energy and the power that comes up with the full moon. So that's a really lovely idea, and I would love to do something like that. What it has become over, I think 10, 20 years ago it would have been like a Southeast Asian Burning Man or something like that, but it's become like just overblown, and now it's kind of like European spring breakers that are just listening
the
to
Southeast
Pitbull
Asia Burning Man sounds a lot more appealing.
And that might be
that's what I kind of
wanted
versus the spring break feel.
Absolutely. And coming from like, and you said you went to India before.
I actually went to Burning Man right before India.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay, very cool. Yeah, I'm planning to go.
Oh
this
my
time
God,
around.
you're gonna love it. Burning Man's amazing.
Yeah.
It's that was the springboard into this whole trip for me.
That's
actually
amazing.
You will find, I can't really tell you what to expect.
Yeah, it's just going to unfold as it does.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's
everything is there, like you can imagine. A friend of mine asked me before, and he was like, "Mike, what are you going to do in the desert for a week?"
Yeah.
And I was like, I wasn't concerned about it. I couldn't explain it to him when I got there. Now I have the words to explain it.
Yeah.
It's like, well, how can you not entertain yourself? How can you get bored in a place where you walk down the street, there's a movie theater, and then you walk around, there's a giant game of chess going on, and then you walk and there's face painting, and then there's anything you can imagine, just like random things are just there.
Yeah, just every creation.
And everyone's giving.
Yeah.
Like, there's no money.
Yeah.
People just giving gifts to people.
Yeah.
Like whether it's a small thing, like a necklace, or maybe you built a hookah lounge specifically for a Burning Man.
Yeah.
You just walk in, have a seat.
It's amazing kind of how it all comes together, right?
It is, yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of the idea that we'll see when I go back. That's the idea where I'll be going. But anyhow, I mean, I'm in search of that same kind of vibe here, and so I've run into like 5 days since I left. It was in India and then Nepal, but all of those experiences were just, it was either very meditative and spiritual, or being surrounded by nature, or it was kind of like a really alternative group of people that I was meeting that were very interesting to spend time with. Drum circles and all that kind of thing. Yeah. But Thailand's been difficult because it's so developed and commercialized, and so it's been tough finding the niches that I want. So I'll take your advice on Chiang Mai for sure. But my verdict is still out
on Thailand.
Yeah, I've been to Thailand before, but and I love Thai food and I love Thai people, and it's a beautiful place, but it's tough. I think there's plenty like the word tourist trap comes to mind, because I literally sometimes feel trapped in situations where I'm surrounded by I don't know, people that just remind me of really bad vibes.
What? Today I felt this is a tangent, but when I was in one of those little wagons taking us to the pier, it was just like there was a wagon full of Westerners it was like we were being we're like cattle or something. It's like we're cattle.
Just kind of being
let's herd the
tourists,
the
like,
tourists
to their
over
resort,
exactly.
and then
herd them in through this little stuff as many as you can into this little wagon. Okay, let's herd them along. All right, now you frog, get out.
Drop them off. And it's unfortunate because like traveling is wonderful, and like exploring, and I've been out of touch with that sensation since I got to Thailand, unfortunately. Bangkok was interesting. I mean, it's a crazy city. I have not been really like quote unquote partying on this like trip that I've been doing. It's been much more like I don't know, like I don't want to say productive, but just like I've been very conscious. And so doing something like, I don't know, drinking buckets all night, listening to Pitbull is like the last thing I'd want to do, you know? In fact, I just wanted to actually just like synthesize and appreciate all of the experiences that I had had so far on my journey. And I was thinking that Thailand would have been a chill place to do that, to kind of still do my yoga, still do, you know, eat the healthy food, be in a beautiful place, but then have time to write, read the books that I wanted to read. And for some reason, I just haven't yet been able to find that rhythm here. And I don't know, this is a beautiful place, but I don't know, it's also a little strange. Like,
It's very strange.
Like just the sanctuary itself.
There's something very strange, I think.
And I'm trying not to be judgmental of anything, but it's just...
Yeah, me too. It came very highly recommended.
Yeah. But for you, did it come highly recommended from other people that you knew, or just from...
Yeah, people I knew in Chiang Mai. 2 nights ago, I was hanging out with a couple friends, and they both stayed here for a long time.
Yeah.
Highly recommended it.
So I think it also could take... So that's the thing. You and I are both kind of at similar points in our experience here. Like we both... I mean, I got here yesterday. You just got here today.
Yeah.
And, you know, like, I don't know, I feel like I've had my guard up a little bit because I've been uncertain about things and what I want to sign, you know, like what am I getting myself into, right?
Yeah, me too.
And with the bungalow situation and everything. But I've also had some moments where I've relaxed a little bit and like been able to like breathe. I feel like I haven't been able to breathe. I don't know, it's weird. But like tonight, like I just kind of, I was after, did you watch the movie in the...
No, I missed the movie. No, I wanted to. Yeah. I was actually at Bamboo at the time because they have free internet at Bamboo. So
there you go. How is it over there? I haven't been to that beach.
So it's like over the cliffs. So just past Eden, a little bit past that. Yeah.
Okay. I haven't been to Eden or anything.
Yeah, the food was good. I got this like curry dish. It was really good. I got to.
Oh, amazing.
And I have like a lounge area, so it's like it's a really chilled out spot actually.
Yeah.
The internet itself sucks actually, but.
Did you look at?
Oh, hello.
How are you?
Good. How's it going, man?
Good thing.
Did they have accommodation?
We're on a bridge right now. So we're literally sitting on a bridge right now. So there was a passerby.
Did you see if they had accommodation or was it not like a place you'd want to stay?
Sorry, I forgot the story.
At Bamboo Hut.
Oh, I don't think they have a guest house. It's just a restaurant.
Just a restaurant. Okay.
Yeah.
But what was that beach like over there?
It's kind of like on the cliffs. So I don't know. Maybe there was a beach outside. I didn't go into the beach over there if there was one.
Okay.
But the restaurant itself is really chilled out though. It's a cool place.
Yeah. But so I don't know. So like I like went swimming just like actually like right before I kind of walked up and met you and what was her name, the Swedish girl?
Forgot. I'm terrible with names.
Yeah. No, when you meet a lot of people.
Well, I usually my strategy with names now is I usually just don't ask people's names until I've known them for a while.
Yeah.
That way, you know, because I think, you know, in a weird way, my brain, if I just meet someone, if I met them 2 minutes ago and tell me their name, I don't know if I'm gonna want to know this person. You know,
right.
How do I know? You meet so many people.
Yeah.
So it's like I haven't put it in the really because your brain only has room
to remember.
There's a number, right?
7.
I thought it was 150 people you can remember in your head, like a human being. Isn't there like a number?
There's
some famous person.
For memorization, it's like 7 like digits at a time. That's why phone numbers are 7 digits. But that's I don't know about for people or something.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're right. I've heard that 7 digits.
Yeah.
The 7 digits thing.
But
so and that's why like 10-digit numbers are so much more difficult. I used to remember my phone number, you know.
Yeah. But with the area code and everything else.
Like, it was only easy because everyone had the same area code in the beginning.
Yeah.
But then it became like
more confusing.
Yeah. But I've heard it's 150 people. Yeah.
That you couldn't keep in your head at one time.
Yeah, and so think of how many people do you meet backpacking?
Oh my God, yeah. I don't know.
Every
It gets tiring. That's why I did the
does.
silent retreat up
Yeah.
in Dharamsala, because I was like,
How many
I
days
can't
was it?
talk. It was just 10 days.
Yeah, Justin.
Yeah. It was wonderful. Like I would do that right now. Like
Is this
it
the one
was,
called the Two Sheet Center?
yeah.
Okay. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
it was
Dude,
amazing.
well, so you're now the second person to recommend this place to me.
Yeah, it was wonderful.
I swear, what I wrote down in my little book.
Yeah.
The first person that told me about this was when I was in Gokarna.
Okay. Where's that?
It's just south of Goa.
Okay.
In the state of Karnataka.
Okay.
It's just so it's like it's kind of like Goa but more chilled out.
Okay, nice.
Beach, and it's it's great. I forgot which story was it saying. I forgot what I was getting.
Tushita.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So someone I met there said Tushita Center, and I
Yeah.
wrote down my book, Tushita Center. It's kind of like Vipassana, but not up their own ass with the religious stuff.
Yeah.
And is that an accurate description?
Yeah. It's I mean, it's wonderful. It's a great if you're curious about Buddhism, especially like this is Tibetan Buddhism.
Okay.
So it was a wonderful introduction. It's incredibly reasonably priced. I mean, Vipassana is the same.
Yeah.
But what I enjoyed about it is less strict. It's still silent, so you're there for 10 days, and you basically have like a few meditations a day, and you have a morning and an afternoon lecture that's given by one of the monks, and the lectures go through like a different host of topics in Buddhism. And so you talk about karma, you talk about rebirth, life after death, you talk about who was Buddha, what's the four the Four Noble Truths, like what is the Eightfold Path, all these different kind of terms in Buddhism, and you get like different books that they provide you with to read, and they serve 3 vegetarian meals a day, and it's silent, which is wonderful because then you can so it felt to me like pretty academic, actually. Like the lectures, we would go and sit in the meditation hall, and each lecture would be about 2.5 hours. So, and you would, learn, and you were allowed to ask questions at that time. So you could
That's
break your
good.
silence.
I wasn't allowed to ask questions. Well, we were allowed to ask questions. We were allowed to, in the Vipassana, question the method, but not the philosophy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, I mean, I know it's a lot more strict. And for this one, we would wake up at 6 a.m. as opposed to 4 a.m., right? Which I think Vipassana does. I don't know. That's what I've heard.
So there's the first meditation starts at 4 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
And I was doing that in the beginning, towards the end, and I was like, "Fuck this shit."
Yeah.
I just woke up when breakfast was served.
Yeah.
So I would start waking up at 6.
Yeah, which is much more reasonable.
Yeah, I would get breakfast and then
And
do
then
my
start.
meditation after breakfast.
Yeah.
But so you're supposed to, but you really.
You can make it work how you need it
By
to.
the end of it, I was just waking up
Ready.
at 6 at breakfast time when I was hungry again.
No, and that's so, so I mean, that was kind of we would wake up, do meditation, breakfast, lecture, another meditation, lunch, lecture, dinner, and then another meditation. But they were guided meditations, and I don't know, it was great because you learned. I learned so much about Buddhism, and I've studied a lot of Hinduism, and I've studied a lot about yoga, and I love both of those things. But I was really, actually, after spending so much time in India, I was very curious about Buddhism, and this was a great introduction to it. And then the silence was so nice because, as you know, when you travel a lot, you literally are meeting new people all the time to the point where you can't. Sometimes I don't even feel like I have enough time to process things before I meet the next person to start talking. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even us starting to talk, it's like it happened so quickly.
Yeah.
And I was actually in Rishikesh before, and
I love Rishikesh.
I love that. So that was a place that I'm gonna go back to.
Rishikesh is great.
Yeah, that to me was my when you talk about Chiang Mai, you could spend a lot of time there. That's how I feel about Rishikesh.
Yeah. Okay, I think we have the same taste in cities.
Where it's it's very chill. And
did you go to Hampi?
No, I didn't go to the south at all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just started traveling in early March. So I'm hoping to go back. My plan is to go back to India in the fall or winter, and start in the south. And
Nice.
yeah, and I heard really good things about Hampi.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna start in the. So I have to when I go
Yeah.
back to India, I have to just Rishikesh is as far north as I got because I was
Yeah.
I was there during Diwali. It was in
Okay.
November. Fireworks,
Yeah.
crazy shit. But it was cold at night, so
Yeah.
I was like, I'm just gonna come back later.
Yeah.
Do the Himalayas, Leh, Srinagar.
Yeah.
I mean,
Leh Ladakh and
it's like you spend 4 months in India and you've seen such a small fraction of this
oh,
country.
completely.
You know?
Yeah, and exactly, like, I'm happy we're even talking about it because it reminds me of just what an amazing experience it was to be there and to travel there, you know, and yeah, I loved Rishikesh, but what was happening in Rishikesh was, I would wake up, do my meditation, do my yoga, and then I would go to Namaste Cafe a lot, like. Is that, did you go
Yeah,
there?
yes, of course. I was like, I must, yes.
Okay. Yeah, it was great. Yeah, that was like my little home. And I would always be on my, I have my iPad with my keyboard, and I would be typing and write. I write a lot, so I was writing there and reading, and that was my spot. But then what started happening was everyone's very sociable there and talkative, and I love talking to people, but I really was wanting my alone time, and I wasn't able to get it. And then I was like, okay, Rishikesh is wonderful, but this silent retreat was coming up, and I had already applied and registered, and it was all set to go.
Yeah, the same for the
and so I was like, it was either stay in Rishikesh or go up there, and part of me was I could stay in Rishikesh forever, right?
Yeah.
But I think I knew I was I'm going to come back, but since I was craving that introspection, I was maybe it's time to go even further north.
That's so funny because I actually was at the exact same crossroads as you.
Yeah.
So I was in Rishikesh. I had 1 month to my Vipassana course, which was in outside of Mumbai.
Oh, okay.
And so I was at this crossroads. I had 3 weeks left to get back to Mumbai.
Yeah.
So I was like, I can either go north right now.
Yeah.
So I have friends who are going to Parvati Valley.
Yes.
So I can go north with them.
Yeah, Manali and
yeah,
Parvati
and I was
Valley.
like, I can do that, or I was like, I'd go onwards to Rajasthan.
Yeah.
And I had this moment, and I actually made the opposite decision. I don't know if it was right or wrong. Who
You
the hell?
stayed in Rishikesh.
I either stayed in Rishikesh or I didn't go north though.
Yeah.
I either stayed in Rishikesh and then kind of went southwards basically,
Went to Rajasthan.
I went to Rajasthan.
Yeah,
and
I did that too.
And yeah.
Yeah. No, it's great. It's all
Yeah.
good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it's not, neither decision is bad.
Well, of course. It's
you
who's to say what's behind door A, door B?
No.
Who could possibly ever know these things, But I actually had a beautiful experience. The door I
Yeah.
went down, it's if the other door was equal as beautiful, I could hope. Because
And I
maybe
think
there's
it
some
would've
other
been.
dimension where
Yeah.
a different version of me went through that door, and he probably had a completely different, awesome experience too. And we
Yeah.
can be in different places right now.
It's interesting.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
He probably
Yeah.
wouldn't be here on this bridge.
Yeah.
He probably would not, right?
Yeah.
The version of me that went
Up that way.
who the hell
I
knows?
don't know. Yeah,
Maybe,
it's interesting. But that's how I constantly felt in India. Was I was constantly I felt like I didn't have enough time in places to really spend as much as I wanted to. But so I went after Rishikesh, went up to Dharamsala and did this course. And
So you had a good experience in Dharamsala.
yes, wonderful. Yeah, and the thing is, so it's called Dharamsala, but where the Dalai Lama lives is actually called
Manali, right?
No. It's called McLeod Ganj.
Really?
Yeah, that's where the Dalai Lama's residence is.
I had someone tell me it was Manali.
No, Manali I haven't been to, but it's just supposed to be a beautiful place to go.
It was just so much.
Yeah, so there's all that to go back to, but so there's McLeod Ganj, about 15-minute hike up from McLeod Ganj is where the Tushita Center is, but it's kind of McLeod Ganj is kind of
Oh, you hike up to it.
Yeah, you have to hike up to get there.
There's some kind of badass element to that,
Well, most monasteries are at the tops.
Yeah, it's true.
Right, of mountains, right? It is mountains are spiritual places.
I think so. It's
more so than the beach.
and
I think
it's also just you're going through this effort, this commitment. You're putting yourself removed from stuff. You're physically removing yourself by your will.
Yeah.
I think that psychologically creates it and makes it into a spiritual place.
Absolutely.
Is that?
No. I feel the same exact way. So you kind of go up there, and then it's great. It's really well organized and it's very reasonably priced. They ask for a donation to at least cover the cost, and then you can give beyond that if you choose.
Yeah.
And I think it was something 5,000 rupees for the 10 days. And so,
Yeah. That's
wait, I don't know. Whatever it came out to was like, it came out to like less than $200 US.
Yeah.
It was a really well priced.
Yeah.
And
well, I thought if I remember, can I remember my rupee math? I think 10,000 rupees is
it's 60 rupees is $1.
yeah, 60 rupees is $1.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
600
So
rupees
10,000.
is $10.
I'm terrible at math right now, but 10,000 rupees I think is like $16. Yeah. Yeah, 10,000 rupees is $16, and so.
No, 160. Maybe 160.
Or $160. $160. Yeah, sorry.
Maybe.
Yeah.
No, I don't know if No. I don't think this math is right.
Right.
No. Like $1 is 60 rupees. Okay, so $100 would be 6,000 rupees.
$100 would be 6,000 rupees.
Yeah.
Yes,
and
that's correct.
Yeah. Okay. So this was less than that. This was
So
5,000.
Huh? No. So $100
Yeah.
is 6,000 rupees. 10,000 rupees is 1,600.
What 100?
160.
Potentially. Yeah.
160.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Don't quote me on that, but I
Yeah.
think so. But anyhow, it was really well priced, really well organized, and it was nice, like sitting down and just eating your meal like really mindfully and not having to talk to someone. And I read like so many books and wrote a lot, and it was one of my favorite experiences. So yeah, that was pretty great. If you go back to that part of the world, which I'm sure you will, I would go there, and then afterwards you can go to it's like right in a place called Dharam Kot, which is also known as like Little Israel because it's literally run by Israelis, which I'm sure you ran into in India.
Of course.
Yeah, mainly Israelis. And it's great, but I actually preferred Bagsu, which is just, it's all right by each other. So it's just like another 15, 20-minute hike away from Dharam Kot, just kind of deeper into the valley, into the mountains. And it's still has Israelis, but it's not like 100% Israeli.
Okay.
And I don't know. It's like just a nice vibe. Like it's kind of like Rishikesh, where you can just stay in your guest house and go to your Wi-Fi cafe and go to your yoga and go on your beautiful hikes if you want. Like go to the waterfall. Like it was something. So I am in search of those kinds of places.
Yeah.
And I'm finding it. Yeah, I haven't been able to, like, I don't think this is the place for me to be, like, writing or working on a project.
Right.
It just hasn't felt natural. I don't know.
So you're writing fiction, nonfiction?
Oh, just writing.
Journal?
I guess.
Poems?
Yeah,
Songs?
I guess. A lot of, like, reflections on things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I've been doing that forever, but yeah, so exactly.
That's cool.
Just reflections, yeah. Just continuous like reflections on experiences and coming to new conclusions and about past experiences and like through different lenses of different spiritual traditions. Like my biggest revelation was in so at the Tushita Center, and actually before that, also in India, I was studying a philosophy course in Vrindavan, which is the birthplace of Krishna.
Okay.
And I was studying at this Sanskrit institute, and
what are these boats doing out here? Sorry.
I don't know. It's like late for them to be here, right? But this came up in this course in Vrindavan, and it came up at the Tushita Center, and it was the idea of what is love according to the Buddhist tradition, according to some Hindu traditions. And this was like this was interesting for me. So, and it makes complete sense. But the idea was pure love, like when you really love someone, your greatest wish is for their happiness above all else. Hi,
Sweetie.
how are you?
Hello.
How are you?
Good.
What's up?
Hello.
Hello.
This is Mike, right?
Yeah.
Hey,
This
Mike.
is Mike. This is Johnny.
Hey, this is
I don't
River.
know this.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, River.
I'm starting my detox tomorrow.
Okay. We've got a loose full moon bath tomorrow
A what?
evening, don't we? We've got a moon. We had a vague moon bath date.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think we should do something.
Yeah,
There's a few people that are interested in doing something a little alternative.
Yeah. Let's just go and hang on the beach and see what happens. We can sing some rainbow songs.
Yeah, that sounds good. All right, I'll see you later.
Where do you work?
Johnny's the assistant manager here.
Oh, sweet.
And we were talking about the full moon stuff. And when I told him I had no interest in going to the one in Had Rin, he was like, well, maybe we can do something. Because I said, I still want to do something. Like, I want to, if I'm staying here. And he was like, yeah, we'll make something happen. But anyhow, sorry, I'll return quickly to that concept of love. And it was that when you really love someone, your greatest wish is for their happiness. And that's it. And we have such a different concept of it. And maybe what we think of as love is like, oh, I love someone because they make me happy. Like, I love this person because I'm lonely without them. I love this person because I need them in my life. And it's about our happiness, right?
Right.
And you think, and I maybe thought about that before, but I hadn't really thought about it. And it really resonated with me.
And they're saying real love is when you actually want that person's happiness above your own.
That's really what real love is.
Right, that's real love.
Yeah. And so
the other love is kind of like a bullshit love when you love someone for what they give you.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, you make me happy, that's why I love you. But it's like, no, actually, like, I love you, and so therefore, like, my greatest happiness is to see you happy.
Right.
Whatever that means.
Right.
And if that's with me, great. But if not, like, I still purely love you. So obviously relationships are a mix of love and attachment, but that was a very, like, so I've like, there's been things like that I've been learning that have been very powerful lenses through which to re-examine life experiences. And those are the kinds of things that I write about, I guess, like things that I'm learning in the courses, and then really, like, I don't know, incorporating them into my own experience to really understand them. So that's that kind of stuff, and just like reading different books. And I'm reading this book right now that a lot of people have read called The Tibetan Book of Living and Dying, and it's just about the idea of like an afterlife and karma and all these kinds of things. So as I read these things, and I like to write about them as I'm like processing it and etc. So that's the kind of stuff. But I have not been able to like for even example, just like sit down at this restaurant and like actually write. Like
wasn't working.
No, it's just that I'm still distracted by like first chakra issues or whatever. Like, am I staying here? Am I not? Like, what am I doing? Like those kinds of questions are popping into my head. So I haven't been able to because you need to relax that part, and then you can actually
like Maslow's
reflect
hierarchy
on
of
things.
needs.
Absolutely.
You need like the bottom thing is you need like stability, your security,
survival.
And you kind of work your way up.
Food.
Which is why so many people don't go and do these kind of trips in the first place, because it's that self-security. That's the bottom of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Is you need your security.
But I was like more secure like in like random guest houses in India than I am like in like touristy Thailand. Like it's very off-putting to me. I don't know. So I don't know, but I think like I'm almost like I'm wanting to get into this. I have that intention and that desire to just at least for a few days to experience this without running in the opposite direction because I'm uncertain,
Right.
And it is a strange place because like there is this, I'm going to do this whole like detox thing, and that's very like specific and like wellness focused, but I know there's a whole other element to this place that's very much like what Johnny calls like retox, like I think people go kind of crazy here too. So from what I've heard, so it's a strange like mixing of waters.
What's retox?
Yeah, like drugs, etc.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which is fine, but it's just very strange being in an environment where it's literally like, oh, okay, you want to like drink, mud drinks and
Oh,
like
yeah.
and not and like fast and like purge yourself of like toxins, or like, you know, here you can like buy this behind the bar, or, you know, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
So it's all interesting. It's just confusing.
Well, this whole thing's confusing to me.
Yeah, right? It's like, it's a trip. That's what I don't like.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm still,
It's kind of a trip, isn't it?
yeah, completely. It's strange. But I do encourage you to, yeah, check out that other beach. And I don't know, maybe
Yeah.
I'll find a bungalow also. You know, I'm not tied to this location that I'm at right now, but
Yeah.
I actually have two friends coming in tomorrow. One, actually, I don't actually know her, but a friend of mine that I met in India. And he was supposed to meet me here on Monday, but then he got held up. And so I've been here kind of for a few days, like, so kind of like waiting for them to, you know, kind of figure out what we're doing, quote
Right,
unquote.
right.
But I've been traveling alone most of the time, but so it's also weird because I have no idea like what they're gonna want to do when they get here, you know. And
I wouldn't
you
worry
know.
too much. It'll all work itself out. That's what I
Yeah.
realized is like
It does.
every time I try to like figure all these weird scenarios out, it's like, what am I bothering with? It just doesn't,
Yeah.
whatever, my interference of trying to make things happen, so nothing ends up, you know, it's not like
No,
you're not
you're
going
right.
to change the,
You're right.
you know?
No, you're right. I should just let things happen a little
Yeah.
bit. And I normally do, but I just,
Yeah.
you know, I think coming from the like spring break thing,
Yeah.
you know, and just being around that, it really like it got all my walls back up from,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
because back in India, I just, yeah, oh cool, like sure, this is great, yeah, that sounds great, I'll do that, sure. Here, it's like if I have that attitude, I get into some terrible situations.
Yeah.
Like just, but it depends obviously, like with
Yeah,
whom
yeah.
and where, but it's just, I don't know, it's having to be more discriminating, which is unfortunate.
Right.
Because I would prefer to just like,
Right.
so I'm hoping things are working themselves out, and
I think so.
yeah, I think so. And I don't know, I've met some cool people here, just
Yeah.
point blank.
Yeah.
I met this cool girl that's doing the detox with me. We were talking about doing, because you know we're on a detox, but we still want to like have an interesting experience, you know. So we're talking about doing something for the full moon. We don't know quite yet.
Nice.
Yeah, we don't know quite yet what, but yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, I think, I don't know, I just have a feeling the universe provides.
It
So-
does. It does. It
So-
absolutely does.
So somehow
Yeah.
the
It
right
definitely,
circumstance will work out.
no, and I definitely feel that way. It's just personally, I've had that. Do you remember that show or that cartoon, Madeline? You know, do you know what I'm
Maybe.
talking about? It's like a
Madeline.
childhood. It was like a childhood series about this. Yeah, and I mean, it's from like the early '90s, but there's always like at the end of every episode there was basically this girl Madeline, I think she was like an orphan and lived in an orphanage or something like that, and there was a nun that would tuck all the girls in and put them to sleep, and there was just this expression sometimes, and that the nun or Madeline would just say like something is not right, you know, and and I think the nun would say that and would like go and check up, and Madeline would be like running off somewhere out of her bed, and like, if you haven't seen it, like it's a childhood cartoon, so it's like from when I was like 4 years old that I watched it, but it to me that encapsulates or manifests that feeling of just like something being a little bit off where you can't quite relax, like something is not
Yeah.
right.
That's what I feel.
Yeah, and that's how I've been feeling, and so
Yeah.
I agree with you. I do believe the universe provides, and like I'm
Yeah.
100% there.
Well, that doesn't mean you can just sit back and say like, what?
Yeah.
The universe provides doesn't mean like you get to be lazy.
Right, right.
You have
but
to
it's
still,
finding,
it's
finding that balance.
It's that balance between like, hey, making the things happen that you need to make happen, but also
Yeah.
flowing with. If things go different than you thought they were going to go,
Yeah.
you flow with that.
Yeah.
So it's both. It's a responsibility and taking action, but also flowing with
It is.
what happens. Sort of.
Yeah, and it's tricky, and I haven't been able to like quite like surf that wave here. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
And I have ebbs and flows.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm like
Yeah.
riding the wave a little bit too much. Okay,
Yeah.
come on, steer,
Yeah.
steer the brakes a little bit, and
Yeah.
then sometimes you're kind of, you can get the opposite way,
Yeah.
and you're too much, trying to make anytime you're trying to control or make things happen or whatever, things just, you freak out about things you can't control,
Yeah.
right? It's like, oh, I'm going to be, actually, okay, I'll just give an example. The other day, I was on the night train, trying to get from Chiang Mai to Bangkok. And so it's Mother's Day back home.
Yeah.
And so
yeah.
my phone runs out of credit. I was going to call my mom on like Skype from the
yeah.
train. My phone runs out of credit. And so I was like, it's cool, no worries. The train's going to get there. It'll be like 9 p.m. in the East Coast when I get to Bangkok.
Yeah.
And got in the situation where I couldn't for the life of me find a cab to get me to the right place.
Yeah.
We spent like an extra hour trying to get cabs. And it's okay. So I didn't catch my mom, but I left her a message. I talked to her the next morning, and she was just happy to get the message from me. So it's all was okay, was the point. But I was like, I'm sitting there freaking out, and it's like, yeah, I know I wanted to talk to my mom. It's coming from a good place too.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk to my mom on Mother's
Yeah.
Day, but it's like there was a point in time where I can't. I was in the corner freaking out. My friend was
Yeah.
telling me like relax,
Yeah.
And it's like me freaking out. What does that do? So there's a situation where I could have. The end scenario would have been the same. I'm kind of an asshole to my mom. I missed her on Mother's Day, and I
Yeah.
wasn't going to be able to avoid that. So,
Yeah.
all right, just relax, stop freaking out, sort
Yeah.
of thing.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
Did you end up calling her the next day?
Yeah, I talked to her the next day. No, it's
Yeah.
all cool.
Yeah.
But I was going to try to do something for this podcast too.
Yeah.
There's two things I wanted to do. I wanted to get to bank to my hostel so I could talk to my mom
Yeah.
and then work on a podcast episode.
Yeah.
And I was like, I know the U.S. East Coast. It's getting late in the East Coast, and I have only these few hours in the morning to do it.
Yeah.
And so, and it turns out for the podcast too, my co-host Justin, he wasn't available that night either. So it's like, okay, so me freaking out
Yeah.
didn't do anything for that either, because he wouldn't have done the podcast episode that day anyway.
Yeah. No, totally.
So I was like, what was the point?
What was the
What was the point?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
And it's amazing kind of what our mind, like how we create all these problems. And like literally just like an hour ago, I was just feeling a little bit restless and like really overheated. So I was walking down the beach, and then I was like, you know what? I'm just going to, I need to go into the water right now. Like I need to just swim. And I literally just jumped in and swam in the water for like 20 minutes. And it just like calmed me down a little bit. And I was thinking metacognitively about all these different, ridiculous, over-analyses, optimizations, right, that have been going on in my head ever since I got here. And I was like,
what did you study?
What do you
in
mean?
school? Do you have a background in some kind of math or science thing?
I studied econ and I studied psychology.
Okay.
And some neuroscience and
Oh,
I mean,
wow.
it was everything. It was
Lots of things.
liberal arts. So, but I had two majors, so econ and psychology.
All right.
Yeah. What about you?
Chemical engineering.
Okay. Very, very scientific.
Yeah, I would say econ and psychology is also quite scientific.
Yeah, it can be. Yeah, like especially with the neuroscience, and everything. But
you can predict behavior of populations based on psychology or
Yeah,
and how it's
there's-
going to affect the
Yeah,
that
there's
stuff's
things.
like I feel stupid when I think about this. Like I don't understand the economies of the world.
yeah, yeah. I mean, there's more there, but I was just thinking about I was thinking about my own thinking, right? Of course, and what's his name? Is it Ram Dass, the guy that wrote "Be Here Now"? Do you know what I'm talking about?
It sounds familiar.
Okay. It's Ram Dass. He was this guy that back in the 60s, he was a psychologist at Harvard, and he was doing research. And back in the 60s, like, they were very curious about hallucinogens and, like, their effect on the brain. And so he started, like, researching that from a very, like, like Harvard PhD psychologist perspective.
Yeah.
And then he ended up getting like really into LSD. It was very interesting. And he was taking it because they were trying to understand it. And
He's
then,
working for the government?
No, he was working for Harvard.
Okay.
But like,
and so they were allowed to experiment on LSD. It wasn't illegal at the time?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean, don't quote me, but I don't believe so. It was kind of in the vein of experimentation. And so he got kind of, him and some other people at Harvard, they were getting together, and they would like take LSD like once a week, and then they would like examine it from like their scientific training. It's very interesting. And then from that, he's got very interested in spirituality, like because of his hallucinogenic experiences.
Right.
And so he wrote this book that's kind of like a famous book for people that are, I guess, either people that are really into LSD or just people that are into spirituality, like just kind of on that path. And it's called Be Here Now, and it was written in the, I think it was like written in 1968, I think. I don't know. 60s, maybe early 70s.
So it's like one of the early experimenters.
Exactly, yeah, but this book is like everywhere. And
Experimenter in more than one way.
Yeah.
With patients and with himself.
Absolutely. And, but the book is called like Be Here Now.
I like it, yeah.
And it's really crazy book, but like you flip through it and not all of it makes sense, but like some of it's kind of his introduction about like his experience and, what he was doing and everything. But then some of it is like random like drawings and just things that he wrote down, I think probably when he was tripping or things,
right.
So it is kind of like, you're like, oh, this person's tripping. You're like, oh yeah, they actually were tripping, but some of the things like make a lot of sense in the right mindset.
Right.
And I don't know, when I was just walking on the beach earlier and thinking about all my thinking, I was like, just be here now. Like, just be here now.
Yeah.
Like, stop trying to, like, leave. Yeah. Like, stop trying to create all these, I don't know, like, all these complications. Like, just, like, your feet are in the sand. Like, you're swimming, it's 11 o'clock at night, and you're swimming in, like, in this, like, sea, whatever sea we're in, and it's almost a full moon. And, like, where are you trying to be?
Right.
Like literally it's like, be here now. This is incredible. And I think I was losing touch with that. I've been losing touch with that. So I don't know. It's just, I'm hoping that like peaceful, just groundedness will return. But it might take, I don't know what it's going to take, but I have the intention.
Well, go in ebbs and flows, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like life.
Yeah.
There's times where I'm very much in the moment.
Yeah.
It's great. And there's times when I'm in the future. So there's times when I'm in a future. Here's the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
When you're in a future in which you'll be in the past. Like, for example, it's something we do all the time. We take pictures. So why do we take a picture?
Yeah.
Because we're thinking about a moment in the future.
Yeah.
Well, we want to look back on this moment. That's, at that point, the past.
Yeah.
So we're looking at the present through the eyes of the future, looking at the past.
Yeah.
When we look at ourselves you know what I mean?
Yeah.
When we take a picture.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
Yeah.
We take pictures to, see ourselves in the future, look at ourselves in the past. Instead of just being in the present.
Yep. Yeah, it adds a whole new layer of complication. I don't know, but I'm getting bitten a little bit.
Yeah, mosquitoes.
Yeah. There's dengue in these parts.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. But I heard, according to Johnny, that the mosquitoes that give dengue only come out at sunrise and dusk. So
which one's dusk? I get all these different.
Okay.
Like
So it's just sunrise and sunset. How about that?
Okay.
Yeah.
Dusk
So
is
when the sun is rising.
Is dusk like the very beginning of the moonrise? Is that which?
No. You know what? I don't know.
Sunrise still. Okay, so sunrise and sunset.
We're gonna have to figure that out.
Yeah.
But no. So when the sun is coming up or when it's coming down. In general, there are bugs all the time, but in terms of the ones that have dengue.
You know what's? I just really like. There's
Yeah.
so much light right now from the moon.
Oh
Like,
my
it's,
God,
it's incredible. Like I can.
Yeah.
It's like there's. I was thinking like, oh, there's a lot of lights on in this place. I'm like, wait a minute. There's really not. It's
No.
just moonlight.
I would encourage
It's
you.
shadows from moonlight, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
Like you see there's like a silver gleam to everything. Like I don't know, I kind of want to, like, when it's actually, I think it's like the full moon tomorrow night, right? Like I think it's the fullest point. Like I don't think it's full yet. I think tomorrow.
I don't. Yeah, tomorrow.
Right?
Yeah,
Is,
tomorrow.
like,
Tomorrow.
But I almost want to like be outside.
Hey boy, how are you doing? Oh, we have a little dog friend coming to join us right now. Hey,
Buddy.
how's it going, buddy?
There's a lot of nice animals here at the
Aw.
sanctuary. I like them. I miss dogs.
How's it going?
Dogs ground me. Like,
Dogs are
completely.
great because all they want is love. They just want to be your friend. They just come to say hello, and they also want food if you have that too.
That's right.
Like that doesn't hurt your situation.
But I was thinking, like, what I want to do for like my own personal full moon is just be like out at night, like maybe on the beach or something, and just like be in the presence of the full moon. And
Yeah.
that's what I want to do. And maybe there will be a drum, maybe not, but and even if it's just me, you know, like,
Yeah.
like go swim, like just be out, be in the presence of this like insane thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, but I would encourage you, like, just as you walk back to your dorm, like, just kind of look out onto the beach and just see how everything is lit up by the moon. It's pretty incredible.
Yeah. It looks like it from here. That's pretty lit up.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. Yeah, I was just like, I was swimming and I could see into the water. Like, I could see the coral reef below me from the moon.
Is there diving here also?
I think so. I think so. I think that could be an interesting endeavor.
Yeah.
But anyhow, we're gonna get bitten alive.
Yeah.
So
All right. Well,
it's a wrap.
it's a wrap. Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
What's one thing
Yeah.
that you would like to do before you die?
Okay. Have a family.
Good.
Yeah.
That's a good answer.
Yeah. Be a mother. Have a family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's probably top of the list. The human experience, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
I mean-
traveling is amazing, and I wouldn't trade it for anything, but I think, yeah, to, like, really be a human, like,
Well, that's
Yeah.
sort of like, isn't that the reason we're here?
Yeah.
Ultimately,
yeah.
is get the next generation. Like, we're not going
Yeah.
to be able to finish the fucking job.
Yeah.
Whatever that job is, who the hell
Yeah.
knows? But wherever the hell this train's going,
Yeah.
we need someone to keep continuing it on. I guess
Yeah.
for some reason.
Yeah. But that whole, I think that's a miraculous experience
course.
and part of just being human. So,
Yeah, definitely.
yeah. Not ready for it yet, but
Right.
when it happens, yeah.
That's
That
good.
would be the one thing. Yeah, because, you know, it's funny. Like, sometimes, you know, when you're on a plane and there's, like, crazy turbulence and, you know, sometimes I think, like, oh, well, what happened if this, like, went down and that was it, right? Because we don't realize that, I don't know, I don't think we appreciate how, the dogs are running. I don't think we appreciate how finite things are. The fact that, I mean, we are alive, and we do expect to be alive for a long time. We probably will be, you know, like, knock on wood, but I don't know if that's wood. But
We'll count it.
we'll count it. But it's true that you could die at any moment, you know, just for any reason.
Yep.
And so, anyhow, that aside, sometimes, you know, when I reflect on, like, my own death, I think, you know, I'm living my life in a way that is in accordance to, like, I'm at peace with things, like good relationship with my family, no enemies, nothing negative, like, you know, it's all good. But oh, see, that's a frog right there.
Oh shit. Oh, he's huge. Yeah.
But, and, you know, it's like, you know, because, you know, people say that on their deathbed, it's like, do they have any regrets? And I'm definitely living my life in a way right now that I don't have regrets. Like, I'm very
Yeah, it's good.
happy with how I'm living my life. But I would say if I were facing my own death, you know, that would be the one thing that I would be sad that I hadn't done, would have been having a family, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Nice.
yeah.
I think someday I'll be ready to have some kind of offspring.
Yeah.
Not anytime soon.
Yeah,
I don't
not
think.
anytime soon.
I don't think I'm responsible enough at this point in my life
Yeah.
to raise a living thing.
Yeah.
But no,
you have
I'm
to
more
be-
selfish though. It's like I think you gotta take care of yourself and then take care of others. So
You
someday,
need to in order to take care of others.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't take others unless you take care of
when the
yourself.
plane's crashing, they show you put your oxygen mask on first, then
Yeah.
help your kid.
Yeah, exactly.
So I get my act together.
Yeah. But I mean, there's no rush with that, but that is the one thing that, like, you know, I'm like, I feel like not that I've experienced everything, but I'm like, I feel like I've experienced a lot, and
Right.
that whole process of like, and like as a woman, it's different too, like carrying life and like growing
Right.
life within you, and
Right.
then like having that connection with a baby and a child. Like, I think that's pretty miraculous. So I don't know. Yeah. So that would be the one thing where I would have, if I were facing my own death, I would be like, oh damn it, like that would have been cool. You know.
Yeah.
So there's that. But
Nice.
that's the next
Awesome.
sometime.
Well, thanks for tuning in to Walking the Earth podcast. We're signing off from the bridge at the sanctuary on Koh Phangan,
That's right.
Thailand.
Almost a full moon.
On the eve, we're on full moon eve.
That's right.
Thank you and good night.